Oh, und um auch sicherzustellen, dass wirklich eine Woche später die nächste Folge von Pillars of Eternity 2 ausgestrahlt wird, direkt auf, was ich ja auch leider Gottes an diesem nicht abfangen kann. Freut euch darauf.
I tasked you to discover Aethys's intentions. Tell me what you have learned.
Ich kann Eotas nicht verfolgen, wenn ich ständig meine Seele in das Jenseits ziehe, wenn ihr gerade danach ist.
I will send your soul back to the wheel should the whim take me.
Sagt die Bleiche.
Her wan face contorts into what on mortal kith might be called a smile. On her, the effect is more akin to a rotting pumpkin caving in upon itself.
Do not give me cause to doubt your commitment, Watcher.
Er stammt durch das Todesfeuer und mit Seelen an sich wie ein gigantischer Adramagnet.
The pallid knight knits her brows.
He does not seek to return to the beyond? Intriguing.
Her sickly pale skin pulls tight across the bones of her face, as if the shell of this aspect does not quite fit the impossible creature it contains. The figure nearest Berith dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodika strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Berith? He should. Magran subdued Aethys's influence once before, and yet he returned.
From out of Wodika's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. His skin is mapped with swollen lash scars, and breath whistles through the ragged hole in his face where his nose once was. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodika with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodika steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
We must annihilate Aethys now, before he makes a rash decision we cannot easily annul.
She casts a sly look at the pallid knight from the corners of her eyes.
A moon would do the job nicely.
Bedenkt man ihre Beziehung zum Mond, bezweifle ich, dass Ondra diesen heißen würde.
Wodika throws her head back and laughs. The sound is a dry, rasping bark.
Ondra could do with a new act. Her current one has grown rather stale.
Wo sind die anderen Götter?
They see to their own affairs. You will speak to them in time, should you have the need.
Sagt die Bleiche.
The figure beside the aspect of Berith flows forward in a swirling cloud of ash. The ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broadsword.
You are the kith who attempted to convince my priest Durrance that I conspired with Wodika's mad ploy to seize power. You failed, of course.
A ribbon of smoke curls from the corner of her mouth, and she turns her attention about to Wodika.
Teil 1. Da hat man auch verschiedene Enden. Und
Magran's glowing lips curl in disdain.
We must find a solution to the problem of Aethys that is neither do nothing, nor destroy the world. I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same now. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness. We must find wisdom in precaution.
sagt Magran. Sicher, tolle Idee. Kann ich jetzt gehen?
The pallid knight tilts her head to the side and gives you the long-suffering, narrow-eyed look of a parent dealing with a particularly disappointing child.
No.
Another of the silent figures steps forward, and the warm, golden light of a summer's afternoon spills across your face.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, You hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
sagt Healy.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and divide.
Was für eine Vorrat euch zu hintergehen?
Helia puts a feathered hand to her chest.
He wouldn't. Betrayal is not in his nature.
Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys's return to the fold. His gratitude we can leverage to cajole him into divulging his plot. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wetica suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who wiped dear desperate Alice's mind. You could have let my followers help her kill the man who tormented her. But you did not. Curious.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins, then turns to Helia.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia. I am impressed.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
Das versuchen, Eotas an Ende zu setzen, könnte ja lämmern.
Your point is well made, little Watcher. If self-evident, Aethys has not been known to possess a vindictive nature. Indeed, he has occasionally been magnanimous to a fault. However, if we push him to the brink of reason, there is no telling what he may do. He is, as ever, unpredictable.
Something akin to fondness creeps into her voice.
Was ist dann der Sinn bei dieser ganzen Sache?
The pallid knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magrin grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magrin stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Seine Kinder absorbiert? Sehe ich nicht.
The pallid knight casts a cold, cutting glare in Magrin's direction.
Magran speaks too freely. That knowledge is beyond your ken, Watcher.
Wotica waves the gods to silence.
Aethys gathers strength. His strength is a threat to us.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
There is no sensible answer to the question of a resurgent Aethys other than decisive, final action.
Es gibt keinen Grund, jetzt zu handeln.
Your opinion is unasked for, but noted.
The pallid knight says.
We will act when it is appropriate to do so, and not before.
The pallid knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. She pulls herself up to a great height. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from all around you.
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the pallid knight's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as the void between stars. She bends down and brings her ghostly face level with your own.
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
Nichts sagen.
She stares at you, unblinking, like a needle drawn to a magnet. You are pulled toward her one compulsory step at a time. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
I'll handle it for you.
Fehler. Nein.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. This is nothing like being stuck on a farm, or cloistered in the back of a temple.
Studiert die Skizze des Bootes und schlägt sich dabei mit ihrer Sichel gegen den Oberschenkel. Sie ist zufrieden mit dem, was sie zu sehen bekommt. Mit einem leisen Lächeln neigt sie weiter.
Tell me what's on your mind?
Wie fühlst du dich? Hattest du in letzter Zeit irgendwie Albträume?
They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Happens when I take in a particularly volatile soul.
Keine Sorge und
Will we? Ought we? I just don't know.
Luti kneift ihren Nasenrücken, schmutzigen Finger.
I trust you, Watcher. I swear I do. I worry sometimes about what's gonna happen to me. But, well, it's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my God, even if it kills me. Sure thing, Watcher.
Immer. Juk.
You stood with me through more than anyone I've ever known.
Verschränkt seine Hände und
But a lot has happened over the last 5 years.
eins. Nämlich?
At your suggestion, I took up Theos's mantle after we parted company.
Chaos ist in Arkan, Chaos X Arkanon war, gehörte der equitanischen Zivilisation an, war ein Großmeister des bleibenden Schlüssels, eine Organisation, die sich dem Schutz der Geheimnisse der Götter widmet. Nachdem sich Taos mit der Göttin Vodika verbündet hatte, besaß er die Fähigkeit, sich an alle seine vergangenen Leben zu erinnern. Damit wurde er zu einem der berüchtigsten Ränkeschmiede in der Geschichte. Er wurde vom Wächter von Ketmua getötet, was die Krise der Hohlgeborenen Wald beendete.
I wanted to use the Leaden Key to improve the lives of Kith. So for 5 years I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret.
Er zieht seine Brauen zusammen. So die kaut auf ihrer Unterlippe rum, ein Lächeln zu verbergen.
Hoping they can be reformed.
Versuch doch mal mit etwas Bleiben anzufangen. Die neuen Masken.
Theos had many lifetimes in which to build up the Leaden Key. I'm beginning to appreciate that advantage.
Er verstummt und die Fröhlichkeit verfliegt aus seinem.
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. Or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
Er sieht dich kurz aus dem Augenwinkel an. Klar doch, ganz einfach war das damals. Habe ich nur direkt in das Gefängnis der Götter geführt.
What matters is that you got us out again.
Er führt seine Fingerspitzen zusammen. Und ihr wohlbekannter Ausdruck und Angst bahnt sich seinem Weg über sein Gesicht.
After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of changing the Leaden Key would be tracking down its members and operations.
Und ich dachte, es wäre das Herunterreißen dieses Kopfschmucks. Er lächelt dich dankbar an, aber seine Gedanken sind offen woanders. Omedas Lippen spielt er schwach an, lächeln so und interessiert zu.
Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was.
Arlotts Gesichtsausdruck verändert sich, als Iselmere kurz an die Hut. Teil 1 erfährt man mehr.
Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult.
Und Teil 1 werde ich auch noch, wenn das hier fertig ist.
The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
Verzieht das.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
Du hast ihm geholfen, oder?
That's where it gets complicated.
Betrübt blickt er auf seine...
I thought new leadership might guide them away from this practice. So I adjusted some of the deeds pertaining to the ownership of their land.
Sieht dich verschmitzt an. Lutis Augen verengen sich, bis ihre dunklen Wimpern sich ineinander verfliegen.
It just so happened that a nearby Comtessa, a rather prosperous one, had a claim on the village, and the fertile fields around it.
Clever.
I thought so, at first.
Wütend blickt sich Zoti über.
The Comtessa annexed the village, as I'd planned. But she did nothing about the bloodletting ritual. And while it continued, she taxed the villagers to pay for the plantation she was building, and conscripted half of them to defend it.
Inzwischen hat den Saum seiner Schärpe fest verknotet. Umklammert ihn mit gleichen starren Fingern. Das hast du nicht wissen können.
I had to do something, didn't I?
Wendet sich ihr mit weit aufgerissenen Augen und gequälten. Hält wiederum inne und löst den Knoten in der Pinsel.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better.
Es war die Entscheidung der Comtessa, Leid über diese Leute zu bringen. Sie ist schuld, nicht du.
I suppose so.
Aber schon.
I should get some rest. It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Und warte, du hast mir immer noch nicht erzählt, was die Besener mit all dem zu tun haben.
Ah, that.
Er massiert sich.
I'm looking for an old Leaden Key sect. I've found several references, but...
Er bricht ab und schüttelt den Kopf.
I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Dann reden wir. Ida.
Hey, this brings back some memories, huh?
Was denkst du gerade über ihn?
I want the destruction to stop. I want him to finish what he's doing and then go in peace. Only I don't see it playing out that way.
Ich möchte nicht noch etwas anderes.
If you like.
Was hast du gemacht, nachdem wir das Vermächtnis beendet haben?
I like that feeling, knowing we'd stop Theos. We were part of something big. That was something I never felt before, not even at war. Guess I went looking for it again. Not that I wanted to tangle with gods, but something smaller. Something I thought I could manage. I looked all around the Deerwood, but that place has too many ghosts for me. Things I'd just as soon forget. Ended up moving to Adir and tracking down my parents. They went there as refugees after the war ended.
Hast du einen Weg gefunden, dich nützlich zu machen?
In part, I guess. Adir, they still got some bad blood with Deerwood. Goes back to the Revolution. Some Adirans like to give Deerwoodans a hard time they get the chance. With my folks, a group came along and tried to take their land. Made a phony claim to it.
Was hast du gemacht?
I sat down with them and we had a friendly negotiation. One fella, I don't think he'll ever be able to look to his right again. But we came to an understanding. My folks, well, they didn't see me the same after that. I think they'd have rather given up the land than have it come to violence. And I don't know if that was something we could have avoided or if it was the cost of trying to fix things.
Und shit. Dann habe ich hier doch einen. Lecker. Nee, ich habe einen Typen habe ich vergessen. Halt, hier. Oh, hier ist er. Vollen. Und schon wieder 20 Minuten. Der Wüstenwind trägt von der Felsschlucht vor dir ein zischendes Geflüster an deine Ohren. Von Knacken und Platzen durchzogen erinnert es sich an Eier in einer heißen Pfanne oder einem brennenden Trocknen. Durch das tiefe Brüllen, das es begleitet, lässt dir die Haare zu Berge stehen. Aufmerksam zu. Der Ton klärt sich zu einem rhythmischen Zwitschern auf, welches langsam und zyklisch steigt und es hört sich wie ein Chor aus Stimmen an, menschliche Stimmen. Nach der Anwesenheit anderer Geister suchen. Seraphins Augen schließen sich und die Atmung wird langsam. Du hast das leichte Kitzeln der Fähigkeiten des Mediums, als es den Rand deiner eigenen Seele erkundet, was sich nach außen. Ei, Captain. Zwischen 3 und 5 Seelen voraus. Einer davon war Felix groß und nochmal so hungrig. Seraphin macht einen finsteres. Vorsichtig vorwärts. Behutsam trittst du die Wüste. Du hältst dich im Schatten der von den hohen Manieren geworfen. Vor dir sinkt eine Gruppe Zauber. Sie hopsen auf dürren Beinen umher und wedeln während. Von ihnen umschlossen erhebt sich die schwarze, ledrige Form eines Jungdrachen. Die Flügel der Kreatur schwingen über ihr, während sie an den Leichnam eines Wildschweins zu ihren Füßen zerrt. Mit einer kraftvollen Drehung seines muskulösen Halses reißt der Jungdrache das Wildschwein ins Fach. Er steht auf, erhebt sein Haupt und verschlingt die hintere Hälfte des Wildschweins komplett. Der Wildschweinklumpen wandert gut sichtbar den Hals des Reptils hinunter. Einer der Zauberer klopft nach vor. Er reißt seinen gefederten Kopfschmuck von seinem Kopf und wirft ihn beiseite. Nur einen Moment später lässt er auch einen Stab fallen und spreizt seine Arme vor dem Jungen. Das große Biest sieht auf den Zauberer hinab. Mit einer blitzschnellen Bewegung frisst es auf den kleinen Wilden mit Haut und Kragen. Die anderen Zauribs jubeln und schlagen ihre Speere gegen die Schilde. Die Ablenkung nutzen, näher zu streichen. Du belegst dich leise von Stein zu Stein und nicht die Aufmerksamkeit der Kreaturen auf dich.
And heavy bully, Doc.
Hier. Gott.
Lavru, be on seek!
Bitte nicht. Da an. Reicht's. Auch mit.
See that's me too.
Can't whack him any harder. Not too alarm.
Reinhard. Dann.
But I'm slowly poison.
No.
I
can't get through.
So, dann brauchen wir.
That's it. This is futile.
Time to separate the chaff.
Score one for Keyleth.
Okay, später.
Theodorize me too.
Frisst aber echt nichts.
Happy to oblige. Uh-huh.
Aufdecken natürlich. Oh ja, das. Okay, da hatte ich auch gekehrt. Oh, 26. So, dann mache ich mit dieser Folge Schluss. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Wenn gerne einen Kommentar da unten nach oben. Vergesst nicht, mich zu verpasst da keine weiteren. Und die nächste Folge wird dann die darauffolgende Woche Sonntag. Bis dahin, ciao.